In a society where there is injustice, where there is suppression, where there is clampdown on citizens, then activism becomes a necessity. We have produced in Nigeria since 1960 more activists than scientists. We have produced more activists than leaders we have in Nigeria. Unfortunately, things never got better, even with the activism. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching me from. This remains a diary of a broken man, where we dissect political, economic, and social issues concerning our country, Nigeria. And today we touch on civil society activism, in Nigeria, wherein we touch NGOs, touch on social media activities and government responses. Once again, you are welcome. Remember to subscribe, to like, to share, and to comment. Nigeria's civil society has been a cornerstone of democratic advocacy since the return to civil rule in 1999. It encompasses NGOs, grassroots movements, and digital activities working on issues like human rights, accountability, and governance. Despite operating in a challenging environment marked by political repression and socioeconomic inequality, these groups play a crucial role in holding power to account. Now let's talk about the roles of NGOs, okay? Like SERAP or Enough is Enough. So many NGOs that have arisen from different parts of Nigeria in the past, demanding good governance, demanding electoral reform, demanding so many things. So what are their roles? We highlight SERAP, Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, and then we'll highlight Enough is Enough. These are the two we look at, and then maybe later we'll talk about NSAS government, as we've talked about we did a whole video on NSAS movement back in time. Okay. So SERAP, as we say, Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, focused on litigation and advocacy. SERAP tackles corruption and human rights abuses. Notable achievements include lawsuits to recover stolen public funds and campaign for transparency in sectors like education and healthcare. In 2021, SERAP sued the federal government of Nigeria over failures to investigate corruption in COVID-19 spending, leveraging international platforms like the ECOWAS Court. Now, if you were there in Nigeria in 2020, people mismanaged funds. The way trillions and billions were flying in people's ears, it was so alarming. Thanks to these people who sued Nigerian government and then for failing to investigate these claims of trillions and billions, and how money is siphoned with pen in Nigeria is amazing. Next one is Enough is Enough movement. EIE, yes. Mobilizes youth participation in governance through initiatives like the RSVP, the common statement and invitation cards, responsive play, but their own. They turned it to register, select, vote, and protect your vote. Don't just vote, protect that your vote. These initiatives advocate for police reforms and electoral integrity, notably during the End SARS movement protest of 2020. The Enough is Enough's Office of the Citizen educates Nigerians on constitutional rights, blending online engagement with offline and grassroots efforts. Social media activism, Revolution Now by Shawore and some other, the Obedient movement, so many other movements that came out after the 2020, okay? But Shawore launched his own in 2019, Revolution Now, which protested economic hardship, corruption, and governance failure. The movement utilized Twitter, Facebook, and offline protests to mobilize citizens, particularly Nigerian youths. What was the government response? Authorities arrested Shawore on charges of treason and the cyber-talking, deploying security forces to disperse protests. The movement faced internet surveillance and disinformation campaigns to discredit its aims. While it raised awareness, its sustained momentum was hindered by crackdowns and limited rural reach. If you remember when Twitter was banned in Nigeria, when so many social media clamp down in Nigeria, when they threaten to end social media, trying to censor the citizens by all means. Okay, general crackdowns, tactics and government crackdowns, tactics and impact, legal framework. Laws like the Cybercrime Act 2015 and the Terrorism Prevention Act are weaponized to silence dissent. NGOs face restriction under the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020, which mandates stringent registration and operational reporting. What are the tactics of the government? Number one is arrest and detention, like we saw in Shawore and so many other journalists who have, in one time or the other, written or spoken against the ills and the failures of the Nigerian government. Okay, censorship, internet shutdown during protests. Example, during NSAS, if you remember, in 2020, the internet went, people couldn't even log into their Facebook, couldn't log into their Twitter, and so on and so forth. And social media bans. Example, that was done by Buhari in 2021 when he banned Twitter, and was waiting for people to beg him to unban Twitter. Surveillance, spyware targeting activists and the NGOs were introduced in Nigeria on the ground. People who know. Crackdowns create a climate of fear, drain resources through legal battles, and strain NGOs' operations. However, they also spur resilience with activities adopting encrypted platforms and international alliances. In conclusion, despite repression, Nigeria's civil society remains vibrant. NGOs like SERAP, EIA, and NSAS movement, Obedient movement, and so on still power, through strategic litigation and coalition building. While social media activities bypass traditional media to amplify marginalized voices, international pressure, example, the US, the EU, condemnation, and the local solidarity, provide crucial support. However, sustaining momentum requires addressing international challenges like funding constraints and ensuring inclusivity beyond urban centers. The future hinges on balancing digital innovation with offline mobilization to navigate an increasingly authoritarian landscape. Unfortunately, personally, I have a problem with international pressure because we have seen issues like the 2015 election that was marred totally by international pressure. Allegedly, we've seen the USAID, the investigations now going on. It's almost like a regime change activity on Nigeria. I wouldn't comment so much on that because it's under investigation. But the fact remains that was the turning point of Nigeria. 2015 would have been the point where Nigeria would get to its height as a nation, but it was truncated. It was truncated by some elements, and thank God we are alive to witness some of these high points coming down. The chickens are coming home to roost now. Personally, I'm happy to be alive to witness some of those draconian activities in the past that are showing its head again now as a recompense. I love it, and I hope any sensible person in Nigeria would be happy witnessing how these things are being exposed to the whole world. Let me know in the comment section what you think about activism in Nigeria, journalists being arrested, and so many other dissenting voices being silenced around the country, not just in Nigeria, around the world. Tell me what you think in the comment section, but remember to subscribe, to like, to share, and to comment. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.